Hi, this is George Sandman. I'm the founder and CEO of Growth Drive. Growth Drive is the #1 best-selling business advising platform, and this is our podcast, The Business Advisor Hot Seat. Now, in the hot seat, you're going to hear from industry leaders, thought leaders, your colleagues who are going to share tips, techniques, war stories about building a thriving advisory business based on delivering client wins. We're going to get into it. We'll get into it about the Growth Drive methodology, the Clarity software, what we see out in the world, so much more than just the system. And I'm also the author of The Growth Driving Advisor, which is based on over a decade of being an advisor to advisor, working with you and your colleagues, helping them build their practices, helping them through client engagements, and it's really proven strategies for leading businesses from stuck to best in class. Check it out. So strap in. We're going to light this up. Here we go. Hi, this is George, and this week, rather than having a guest, and we have a bunch of killer guests lined up, rather than me exploring a topic with you, we're going to actually post the entire coffee clutch from this past Tuesday. Fantastic conversation, bunch of senior pros kicking around topics that I know are near and dear to your heart, including marketing, how to generate better referrals as your #1 source of and proven source of new gigs, and more. So here we go, guys. Listen up. And as always, like, subscribe, share. We are thrilled to have you. So let's have some fun. This week's episode is brought to you by Growth Drive and the C3D certification. If you're looking to expand your reach and relevance with business owning clients, whether you're a business advisor or a wealth advisor, this is a certification for you. And after completing it, you will understand how to make profits and transferable value M&A price actionable, how to maximize results for your clients. So get the details at growthdrive.com/C3D, scan the QR code, register. Listen, this is the path to building a thriving advisory business based on delivering client wins. So Ed, you and I started talking about it this morning. We are going to be releasing for consumption the C3D certification next week. And the first review session, so we're doing, the way it works is that we do, you can take the 16 classes plus the intro, 16 classes at your own pace. And then once a quarter, we are doing the C3D review is from 3 to 5 each day on the 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. And we will address classes 1 through 4 on the first day, 5 through 8 on the second day, etc. For 16 total. So, and people, it's not required. People can take it. They can come and do the review or not. You earn your C3D when you pass the exam. It's 100 questions. And then you're a C3D. And then we're not doing continuing ed. And I know I've discussed it on this, in this forum before. We're not doing continuing ed, but we are doing, demonstrated work with clients. Because it seems to me, rather than looking inward and having people come and consume our stuff, I'm more interested. I mean, we will give points for participating in webinars, workshops, etc. That's increasing your craft, but we are going to really heavily weight delivering case studies, strategic plans, using Clarity with clients. Again, that doesn't make us any money, but it does demonstrate that you're out there doing good. Excuse me. Watch them. And it allows, and my real aim, there are two aims here. My real aim is for us to further you guys are critical to furthering our mission and delivering against our vision. And to do that, we need to be meeting with clients, working with clients, writing plans with clients, executing those plans with clients, etc. So there are really only a half a dozen things one can do to earn points. And it's going to be great.
That's easy, and it helps the market understand who you are.
Right, exactly.
If you have 540 points versus someone who just earned their C3D, congratulations, that has the 50 points that they're awarded for the course. That's a dramatic delta. We also, Eric Owen has asked, and we are have stood up a committee. A bunch of people who were at the conference got together, a committee on the future of the business advisory profession. What does it mean to be a business advisor? What's our promise to the market? And you'll notice I'm saying business advisor, not C3D, right? Business advisor. What's that promise to the market? Going through sort of similar to the exercise that certified financial planners went through a couple of decades ago. And, what do we do? And importantly, what do we not do? And how do we communicate with our fellow advisors, with CFPs? We all know what CFPs do because CFP. So it's interesting. It's an interesting time. So that's all that's going on here.
Okay. How's the Fletcher meeting going?
Good. I actually have to book. I'm flying out to Denver. I have several business meetings, and I'll be meeting. We have penciled in spending a half day together. So Fletch is a great guy. He had a mountain to climb when he came on board. There was a lot that needed fixing, inventing, redoing, and they've done a great job. But that takes time, and so we are doing. We're going to sponsor the BEI event, which is in September in Denver at the Ritz this year, rather than the Four Seasons where it's traditionally been held. That is a terrific event, and then we are tightening up our. We referring people to BEI when they're interested in exit planning, especially exit planning. I mean, there are a lot of there are 3 great certifications out there. Theirs happens to be the toughest, right? And the reason we're referring to BEI is that they are keenly focused on delivering successful outcomes, and we share that philosophy. Not that EPI or the IEPA are not, but BEI has a demonstrated focus on delivering successful exits, and selfishly in promoting the growth drive methodology and process as their recommended profit and value growth methodology. So rather than simply talking about it as some others do, which is important, right? I don't want to diminish it. I don't mean to damn it with faint praise, but BEI has demonstrated that they has demonstrated an intent to deliver, to continue to support successful out. So Fletcher conversation's going great. Like him personally, like the organization. So is there anything specific you're hoping we get out of it, Ed?
We're going to get another chance to do that presentation out there.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I hope so. The conversation I really last year prompted me to want to have, and I think is really needed, and I've been talking about this with Mike Garrison as well, is wealth advisors have a relationship, right, and a trusted relationship with most business owning clients, especially when we talk about people who have businesses not so much in the 1 to 3 million range, but in the 3 to 50 range, right? That's when you're getting into, okay, cool. And in C3D, we talk about how to identify which wealth advisory firms you might want to, carefully craft a mutually beneficial relationship, like a collaborative relationship with. That's great. But wealth advisors, we business advisors have behaved so badly as a profession in their clients that they don't want to refer us in. And we need to that's something on which I intend to work, right? Because business owners think they're fine. Wealth advisors are keenly focused are committed to helping business owners meet their personal financial goals. The business is the largest contributor. I'm using typicals, right? Typically the largest contributor to that personal wealth and to democratizing wealth, and ultimately now wealth advisors may or may not care about creating an immortal business. They should. And wealth advisors have this much interest typically in doing growth planning, in doing growth, right? In executing, creating a strategic growth plan and executing that plan. I am hoping to create a program or a framework in which wealth advisors can feel confident that when they call Ed Wonke, Ed has taken, or they call Joe, they're saying, okay, Biz Coach Joe, I need, I have a client, they're in, Joe, where are you strongest? They're a contractor, they're in manufacturing, they're doing 12 million a year. They need some coaching up, right? They need some coaching up and they need to grow. And they know that Joe has done a couple of things. Joe has taken the 3CD, C3D. Joe has signed, it's not enforceable, it's not a contract, but Joe has demonstrated commitment to the advisor pledge, right? To the advisor pledge, and is going to work collaboratively with them, keeping them looped in the client engagement. And I'm hoping that we can create a community that is trusted. I'm not hoping, we are creating a community that is trusted, and we see it happening every day, right? So bring me full circle to answering your question, Ed. I would love to lead, and I'm going to pitch leading a full day workshop where we talk about a collaborative relationship between an exit planning wealth advisor and a success driving business advisor. And how do we create a strategic relationship so that Joe has the tools? They're in clarity, right? If Joe uses protect value with a client, I always say if. Why the hell do I say if? Why the heck? When Joe uses equity planner, when Joe uses protect value with a client, without a wealth advisor in the room, he's then able to go to the wealth advisor and say, hey man, here's what we've got. And Frank doesn't have a wealth advisor. Or I tried to talk to Frank's wealth advisor about this and he was not interested. But this is important, right? This is critical. And so they're not going to help Frank reach their goals. And so I'm going to would you be willing for me to tee up a conversation? And in that conversation, I'm a broken record, but we're going to talk about equity value planning. We're going to talk about the ability. We're going to talk with a wealth advisor in the room. We're going to talk about successfully monetizing the value of this person's life work. And we're going to help that person. That person is going to end up putting up their hand and saying, I do want to purchase advanced wealth planning. I do want to purchase sophisticated compensation planning. I do want to purchase insurance that de-risks cash flow and the future of my business. Because I have some life insurance, I have some disability insurance, but I have not purchased, I need more. How do we help business owners understand that sophisticated wealth advisory products and services can be transformative for their business, and that it will save them cash. It will not only protect future value, but save them cash and leave cash in the business that can be invested in growth, while keeping their their senior leadership team happy, engaged, participating in success. So let's Ed, that's what I'm going to pitch, and that's a long-winded heck yes.
Well, I think the biggest thing that most of the exit planning people do, and that is sometimes all they want to do is give us the status report to their client, but they don't want to do anything beyond that because they figure the person's too far away from retirement, so we don't need to talk about that eventuality. And the answer and the comment that I always bring forth is everybody's going to die sometime after 65. Well, the answer is no. Statistically, there are going to be people that are going to die before that. There's actuaries that calculate that number, and that's what's based on the foundation of life insurance. So yeah. I think one of the things you have to do as a, shall I say, a financial planner has to make it the business owner aware of the shortfall they have in their estate plan each year as it relates to what is needed to have the terminal value provide the retirement expectation
yes.
they need.
Heck yes. And Ed, you just said something. They don't want to have this conversation, and to this I would say, and I'm making eye contact with you who are out there in the world watching this. I love the fact that you're providing wealth advisory to your client. We as a people, we as an economy have a need, and that need is being provided for by private businesses. And if you as a wealth advisor do not want to have this conversation with your clients for whatever reason, that is mildly interesting to me. And if you are not willing to have it, then I will advocate in my community to disrupt your relationship because you were not doing good by your client, and thereby you are not doing good by their stakeholders, their employees, the families that depend on them, and the communities to which they contribute the warp and woof of the fabric, right? And
exactly.
You don't want to have that conversation. That is your choice, but you can expect that we will make sure that conversation is had. And I'm not threatening. I'm simply saying the conversation is far more important than your individual desire. And that's what a vision and mission dictates. Again, please, I'm not looking, as I've said again, this is not that we will make money out of this. No, I mean, heck yes, we want to, but that has nothing to do with this. What has to do with this is principle. It is a guiding principle that businesses are the engines for the pursuit of happiness and that they need to become immortal in order for us to increase the common good that private enterprise contributes to our society. Okay, I'm off my soapbox, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And if you think that I will not try to get Joe to disrupt your relationship, you are sadly mistaken. It's your choice, but I'm not making the choice. You are making the choice for me. It's very simple. Have this conversation with your client or don't. That is 100% up to you. All I'm saying is someone needs to have that conversation with your client. All right, I'll stop being aggressive and forceful. We've got pens. And we have Tim, the one and only Tim Rohde. Tim, man, great to see you.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
Entrepreneurial world, George, there's something called dividing risk, and this was just it's hearsay. It's one of those, but you gotta have two bank relationships. You have to have not any one individual, even your investor knows all the things that are going on in the business, and that's just kind of like it's sort of a rule of thumb. As a business owner, you just
Amen.
Concentrate all that information.
It's interesting. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Against and then get embedded cultural norm among business owners that they keep on, promoting the fact that, have multiple bank relationships, don't have all your money at one spot. Not any one individual knows complete knowledge of what's going on. And I don't know if it's keep it guessing, what it is, but I remember specifically, the business owner, that was kind of a strategy. And it was just kind of among the, the existing guys who sit around, and it's like, that's what we do. You make sure not any one individual has complete body of knowledge. And so, we're a bit of an uphill battle when even the client blocks that initiative. So I'm just suggesting to you that it's real,
Yeah.
not just perceived. And the community itself, as an entrepreneurial culture, it's embedded. So,
Yeah. Amen, Joe. And what's
along that exit strategy, when you define the exit, then it becomes together, right? And you have to concentrate the efforts and all that. But until then, there's really no pain in having these different things going on. And then, I was kind of, I'm working my different, different guys are coming at me, entertaining, whatever. And so I'm having kind of a fun being a wanted guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You're absolutely right. There are two things that jump out of your comment, Joe. One is if in that old core value methodology, they talked about making sure that your relationship with your bank was fresh, and part of that was and you might want to know another banker. Ask me as a business owner how I know, and you also, as in healthcare, as in wealth planning, you need to be your own advocate. You cannot be passive. You need to be an advocate. And if you have not yet computed, if you have not yet figured out that you need to de-risk your ability to monetize the value of your business, then perhaps you should start thinking about it. Tim,
George,
welcome, man. Great to see you.
seeing you guys too. Sorry for jumping on late here. I had a good call that had been rescheduled a couple times. I had to take it.
Not a problem. And thank you very much for your referral. Looking forward to that meeting very much.
Impressive guy. I mean,
Yeah, they are as a community. We have 3 or 4 in the community now. We have one other who is about to become a member of the community, and I'm looking forward to meeting this gentleman. I mean, I think that's an organization that we would love to have them in the community. Not where we should have a bigger presence, but where they should be better represented in our community.
I'm sure I put it in the email, but he's already using 90. He already uses 90 with his clients. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. The next 90 cohort meeting is on the book. I will post that if Izzy didn't do it already, I'll post that in the community. And what we're going to do in the next cohort meeting is, why would you use 90? How do you turn it on? And we're going to we have a big group, so we're going to divide it into 2 working groups. Think of them as sort of study groups alike that will collaborate. But we're all going to be in the same biosphere. Okay, so even though you're in a group, you're going to see the work of the other group, and you're going to be inside 90. We're just one big community. I am hell bent on being their biggest user, which is, first we'll go for second biggest user, because to be the biggest is an aspiration. So
I do have a question for Joe.
Yeah.
So Joe was kind enough to send me a link to his website after our last call, and I just want to know, if you're an Ohio State guy, how come your website has Notre Dame colors?
He's bi-directional.
Is that it? So does he identify as Ohio State, or does he really, I'm not sure what.
Joe's like, first of all, I'm firing my web designer.
He's hiring a new web guy right now, right?
Yeah, these are Notre Dame colors. And
no, the other one, that's not the one I was looking at. The one you sent me was green and.
Okay. Yeah. It's I guess I could have requested different colors.
Hey, Joe, is that profit?
Historically, Ohio State has not played Notre Dame, but about 5 times less. 30 years. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but it's been very seldom. And actually, who the biggest promoter of Notre Dame back in the 70s was Woody Hayes, because it always come down to the 3 teams. It'd be Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State. And if they weren't going to choose Ohio State, he'd always say, well, that Notre Dame is a great place to go. So, historically speaking, I am a Catholic guy, so, but anyways, that's a good observation, Tim. I'll take it as advice, but
Hey, Joe, you just held up a binder that had Profit Driver on it. Is that Profit Driver the business, or is that?
No, it's a new feature we've added to our coaching services, and it's a drunk friendly way to which kind of do a typically it's going to be about 1.5 million above. We could find leaky cash, and it's a whole series of there's a cool little town out of Australia named Peter Rowe, and then you've talked. I don't know if you met or not, but Eric Dunbar with Coachless Coach, now a pro coach, but and Paul in community is also a member of Coach's Coach. What's
Yeah.
Paul's last name? Anywho, it's really cool little. George and Ed and I've kind of bisected the organizations from about 1.5 million to about 5, are kind of in that sphere, and anything 5 million above are more of a growth driver. And so that
Finding the profit leaks is good work. I'm
about leaky cash and really trying to get your organization to be entrepreneurial related to cash. And if the savings go into the dog bowl in Labrador eats up all the savings and just part of the general fund, it's one of those things where we're trying to encourage the owner to think about what if we put that in a set aside account and use that for reward system versus putting it back in the general fund.
This week's episode is brought to you by Growth Drive and the C3D certification. If you're looking to expand your reach and relevance with business owning clients, whether you're a business advisor or a wealth advisor, this is a certification for you. And after completing it, you will understand how to make profits and transferable value M&A price actionable, how to maximize results for your clients. So get the details at growthdrive.com/C3D, scan the QR code, register. Listen, this is the path to building a thriving advisory business based on delivering client wins.
I love it, and we've added Profit First as one of the books that's in the C3D class. It is, I think when Mike wrote it, I don't know, I haven't discussed it with him, but it seems like that was aimed at Main Street to pre-middle market and pre-middle market. Good stuff, because profit is, as one of my mentors taught me a long time ago, profit is part of the cost of doing business, right? Now it's a different perspective in a startup than it is in it, but in a mature company, profit first. One of the things that's when you guys, if you go in the community, you can grab Business Flow, right? And in Business Flow, you'll see there's this 4th tab. On the 4th tab is the power of 10. And what is the compound impact of doing a 10% improvement? And imagine having this conversation with your client. Hey, you're generating 1,000 leads. Do you think you could improve that by 10% if you focus on it? Yes. Okay. Well, here's could you think you could improve your conversion rate by 10%? How would that impact the number of new customers? And this compounds up to a growth of revenue from 285 to 417. And if we can also impact margin by 10%, so we're just trying to find 10% in these key areas, it plays out to take gross profit from 86,000 to 138,000. Wow. That's the compound impact of 10%, which kind of goes to the whole profit driver, leaky, they're related. How do we, and you'll actually see this play out in the methodology and in clarity when we start talking about, obviously, what are we talking about? Marketing process, that's dimension 2. Conversion rate, that is dimension 1. New customers, dimension 1. Number of existing customers, customer satisfaction, dimension 1. Total customers, same gig. How do we retain our customers? All of these are all dimension 1 and dimension 2, but you'll notice that a lot of them are bedrock. They're dimension 1 launchpad things we can think about that actually play out in the methodology. And I don't have a direct link between the two, but this is one of the tools that you guys have access to. I think I actually think the world has access to this. I think this is in our public facing. If it isn't, it's available to anyone who's a growth driver. One of the many tools that are out there. We're busy doing a slow roll reorganization of this stuff, but gross profit, 10%, in several different stacking categories, it has a profound effect, 61% increase in gross profit. So, Joe, yeah, find the leaks, man. But the leaks they don't have a dollar sign to be deeply impactful, right? That's why I say that, we track business flow, tracks numbers. Those numbers need not have a dollar sign in order to, to have an impact. So all of that can fuel our KPIs in the business flow scorecard. All right. I just thought you prompted me to pull that out, Joe. Thank you. Infomercial opportunity. So, Tim.
Yes.
How was your week in Florida, man?
Cold. Highs of like in the low 40s, cloudy, but the LX Council conference was terrific. It was just
Not
2 days of
puts on a great event.
Yeah, 2 days of fire hose stuff and great, best practices. It was a small group, but everybody got real tight. We had made great presentations on everything from Mike and referrals to there was some guy they brought in talking about leading successful change. I'm not sure about his thing so much, but there was then we had the guys from the Horse Soldier Bourbon group that came in, Jerry Lavley, who's the brand ambassador, and did a closing presentation on how those guys invaded Afghanistan and how they launched the bourbon brand and all. It was good. It was a great couple of days.
Awesome. Yeah, very cool. We're working on getting, I have 3 friends who are general officers, or flag officers, Army and Navy. And I'm hoping to get I'm working hard on getting someone in for our summit to talk about intent. We keep hammering on intent. I admire the heck out of those guys. Them brave.
It was really excellent. Yeah. I have a quick question on the summit. Is it going to be starting October 6th or is it the week prior? I got that last
October 6th. So we had selected our date based on not landing on Rosh Hashanah and recognizing that Yom Kippur, I'm sorry if I get these, no offense meant, but I was trying to be very mindful of, religious holidays. And then our friends at BEI, a conference that we sponsor and in which Ed and I were just talking about, we are hoping to lead a full day workshop. No one's committed to that yet. No one's green lighted us yet, but we're asking. Anyway, their conference is the September 22nd in Denver, and I did not want to have our conference the week after, and so we moved ours to October. Long-winded. We moved ours to October 6th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Same format. The official conference will start on Monday at 1 p.m., go all day Tuesday, and end Wednesday at noon. We will do a bonus session on Monday morning for the people who come into town for the weekend. The hotel we're working for is fantastic. We want to have any of the baloney we had to put up with. And they did a good job at the Mills House. They helped us put on a wonderful conference. But behind the scenes, it felt like I was in a running gun battle. And so we're now at the Francis Marion. It's Charleston's historic Grand Dame Hotel. It's very cool. JFK and Elvis Presley, et cetera, have stayed there. I mean, it's going to be cool. We have a huge ballroom, and we have room for breakouts, exhibit tables. And you guys challenged me to get 100 people in the room, to which I'm coming back to you and saying, can do, have booked the space and put my head on the chopping block. I've signed the contract. Now we need your help. We will do a lot of the heavy lifting, but we can't do it without you. And so what I'm asking is that everyone who was at last year's conference, and you guys, thank you. The people are still talking about it. It really did come together. It's like magic. I need everyone to bring one person. And what we've put out there is what I've called the buddy system. I don't have a better name for it. The buddy system, which is, Tim, if you bring this gentleman I'm purposefully not using his name, this person you've just introduced me to, you bring him to the summit, you earn a $250 credit that you can apply against training, other summits, whatever. So, so buddy system, bring someone, you get a benefit going forward. And it'll help us grow the community. They don't have to be a customer. And you guys, you've been in the summit. They're not going to get the full court press. We tend not to proselytize. We do work hard to expand our skills, our reach and relevance as advisors. And this year's theme is building a profitable advisory business. And I'm fired up. So, Tim, you asked a simple question, and as I seem to be doing today, you're going to get a long-winded answer. But what people have we already have far more than half that number committed to the calendar. They've gone and downloaded the calendar insert. Now we need. We are also putting out anyone who thinks they know someone, an organization that would be interested in sponsoring. We have a sponsors landing page that went live yesterday. We're going to put a link on the summit page to it. There is a committee that is going to be helping with setting the agenda. So thank you. That ensures that you guys drive the content, within guided by the theme. And the theme is not going to be marketing. Are we going to talk about marketing? Of course we will. We have to. But what we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about a bunch of great stuff. Am I going to see you there, Tim?
You are now. Those dates actually helped me out.
Cool.
It's it's our 30th wedding anniversary, and
congratulations, man. That's awesome.
I'd already booked. I haven't made it there yet, but if she keeps me around, so we're planning a trip to Spain, and I was going to be in Spain, and then I thought, oh shit, when's it grow? And then sure enough, it was right over top of it. So we're going to be there for about 18 days, but I get back on I have a choice of getting back on the 4th and the 5th. So I might just throw my bags over to the check-in and go from there to Charleston.
And bring, a lot of people brought their spouses. And
our children, adult children.
Right? Yeah. Right. I love that.
So that's an idea. Yep. All right. Well, thank you for the clarity. That's actually, it helps me out so much because I was just sick. I thought I was going to have to try to move our trip again, and I would do that. But I was glad to see that landed where
that is huge, and thank you. I'm actually sending a chat to Izzy right now saying, hey, did Marie, not Marie Benedetto, get you the hotel booking link? Everything was shut down last week. So the whole town, we just kind of have a week at a time. Awesome, Tim. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah. I just got off the phone. The guy I was on a call with, the way you put it, might be interested. I'd want to talk with him about maybe being a sponsor. So if you can have Izzy send me the sponsorship stuff too, I'm eager to get back in touch with him, and I might run it by him. He provides capital for growing businesses.
Yes. You know who I met with yesterday? So I'll make sure you get that, Tim. I met with an outfit yesterday. I'm embarrassed. God, and this is me well rested. Let's go to today, not March. Yesterday I met with Anton Sheridan, who's great. Andrew Cervenka, and Andrew is with the Growth Architects. And the Growth Architects, it was a great conversation. They specialize in helping pre-middle market businesses, maybe just above Main Street, become bankable. So what will you need to show banks, plural, Joe, to your point, have more than one bank? banks plural, so that you can access capital, right? Credit is a very powerful business tool. And you've heard me talk about it, right? Business owners are like, well, we have no debt. I'm like, well, that's dumb, because you're spending cash, you're costing yourself growth by not being willing to pay a little interest to a bank. Anyway, dumb is maybe overstating it, but maybe there's a better way to grow your company. These guys help, their services to help businesses. They talk about making the business bankable so that, and here are the magic words, you can take on debt without the personal guarantee. And the personal guarantee is without a personal guarantee. And ask me how I know about having good banking relationships, and how the unforeseen might cause you to really regret having signed that personal guarantee. Luckily, my bank was cool, and they were all they needed to do was patient for a few weeks, and I paid off. It's just a line of credit, but they got audited. Their auditors were like, you need to call in these lines, and I got a phone call saying we need the line paid by Friday. It was like on a Tuesday. I'm like, well, yes, but not by Friday. Anyway, so these guys are the growth architects. Is that what I just said they were called?
Yeah.
They are called the growth architects, and they work on bankability, which is cool. I'm hoping that they'll sponsor. So there's a little shout out. Andrew, if you watch this video, great meeting. They seem like a good outfit. I'm going to do some due diligence on them before I give them a full-throated endorsement, but I love the concept. So Tim, yeah, you're spot on. Without capital, capital's the thing.
Great. If Izzy can send me the package, I'll talk with him. And if it looks like it's got potential for the group, I'd really love to share the information with the group, because he's got a very interesting approach. He's a former PE guy who kind of created a new funding stream that takes out all the stuff that he hated about private equity.
Good.
Yeah. So it sounds very intriguing.
I love it. I'm looking forward to learning more. We might want to have a conversation with them. Yeah, very cool. We have guys that, maybe I can do a poll of 3. We had to change hotels because the other hotel, there are many charming behaviors, actually sold our spot. So after telling us that it was our spot, they got someone who was going to book. And, in fairness, they're a business, right? And they're run by Marriott. They have numbers hit that someone came in and said, well, we're going to guarantee 85 rooms for 3 nights. And that was a more significant commitment than we were making. And they said, oh, but growth who? So we're at the Francis Marion. But what that means is we've moved about half a mile up King Street. And I'd love to we're doing a hosted dinner, a catered dinner, and we have penciled in doing it at the Gibbs Museum here, which has this fabulous rotunda upstairs. It's just a beautiful spot. It'd be a great setting for a dinner and for our keynote speaker. And anybody have qualms about walking a half mile? Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
As long as it's not 95 degrees, we're okay.
Well, in October, it's going to be beautiful. It's one of the best months of the year here. So, okay, good. We just took a vote. Show of hands. Great. Okay, second the motion, done. We're going to keep doing it at the Gibbs. In fact, I'll walk over there. I'm going to check. I walk past it every day on my way home.
We always line up one of those horse carriages.
Yeah, well, it's also, if it's going to be pouring rain, we can line up a van. I mean, there aren't 300 of us, right? There are, with your help, going to be 100. We committed to 75, and it was you guys who said 75, 75. We want to have 100. To which I say, great. Great. Let's go. Let's go. So it's going to be interesting, guys. I love, these summits. It's so fun to get everyone together. And I feel like we get, you guys report that you get a lot out of it. So, Okay. What else is going on in the world? Stunned into silence. Anybody have a case that they've been working on? And we can, by the way, we can reclaim some of our day. And it's funny. I wasn't on. Was it last week? And you guys went for an hour and a half. Wow.
When is the next C3D certification, or is that all virtual now?
So Tim, you actually came in after we talked about it. It is mostly virtual. So there's 16 hours of online learning. We are publishing the new course next week. And then we do a live via video review where you'll see Mr. Ed Wonke, my partner in crime for gosh, how many years, man? Where we will we'll do, Tim, there are 16 modules in the course. So on March, did I say 24th, guys? Keep me honest. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll do 2 hours a day, open mic. We'll take any and all questions, and we will workshop, discuss, hammer on any questions out of classes 1 through 4. On Tuesday, classes 5 through 8, 9 through, etc. And those are, I would recommend participating in them, but they're not required. And then you can take the exam with or without, but you take the exam. When you pass the exam, then you are issued your certificate and celebrated in the community, etc. And then you're on a path to mastery. And then the path to mastery, Tim, is, we are committed to delivering client wins, right? We are committed to helping $1 trillion of private businesses increase strategic capacity in the 3 dimensions of growth. To execute against that vision, what we're saying to you is, well, go out and do. Run clarity with clients, write strategic plans, submit client cases, participate in workshops, get clients into 90. You can get them into Monday or Asana. Do growth and have these conversations. And we need I'll call it continuing education, because we all know what that means. Your continuing education, you do not need to be a profit and value growth advisor. You could be, we talk about, are you a 1 or a 5? I want 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, but I want 2s to be able to be on a path to mastery. Well, you know what? I have, and they may not be looking for 1,000 points, but if you're a 2 and you're saying, okay, well, I have helped lead the growth conversation. I've helped clients gain clarity around their strategic intent. We honor that. We value that. And that is incredibly important. In fact, as I'm talking out loud, one of the things that we could do is to say, and when you bring in a growth driver, when you bring in a fellow C3D or a C3D, you are earning points on the path to mastery. So Tim, long-winded answer to a simple question, but it starts next week. It's been an incredible amount of work. And I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out. And the faculty, we've had a lot of faculty. It's cool. And what's cool about putting it online is that that'll allow us to evolve the modules over time, because the last thing we want it to be is stale. So, yeah, man.
Good.
That answer your question?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, you'll see a flurry of announcements about that. Hey, the other thing we've done is, I became conscious of the fact that we send out a lot of emails. We're going to consolidate those on Wednesdays at noon. You'll see a newsletter that we'll publish the blog post, we'll publish the podcast, but we're going to stop sending out we'll send out the social posts, but we're going to stop sending emails when those get published. And we'll consolidate that into a newsletter that'll go out every Wednesday. And so we'll have, highlights from the community, the blog post, the podcast, anything we want to make sure folks are aware of. Newsletter, right? And you guys have the opportunity to contribute articles. So If you have a social post you want to see included, if you have, we're going to capture those in the community and then publish them in the newsletter. Related, we have made the community public again. It was always public. We made it private. I have come to realize that that was a mistake. So now it is public again. Anyone can go. Anyone can register. They won't have access to all of the spaces. You're not getting the premium resources unless you're a subscribing member of the community. But for free, there's a ton of good stuff out there. So that's that. Why did my machine just bing, bing, bing? Guys, I just want to make sure I'm not missing because I have a meeting coming up. Okay. Anything else before we wrap up, guys? Other questions, things you want to talk about?
I'm pretty happy right where we are right now.
Awesome. I'm here. Cool. Listen, Joe, go Buckeyes. I have not watched 1 minute of football this season, which is weird. We used to have, we called them conquerors, and we have like Conker, conquerors. I grew up in Europe, and we would have wars. We'd put them on strings and use them like bolos and, little boys. The intent was to crack the other guy's we ended up just beating on each other with them, as you do. So go Buckeyes. Ed, thank you. Tim, and as always, if you have any questions, thoughts, call me, email me, DM me in the community. And thank you. I'm really grateful. Thanks, guys, for being on the call today.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rich. I'll be in touch.
Tim, I owe you some. Yeah, same. Perfect. Okay. Be well.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is George. Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe, like, and please take 2 seconds to leave a review. It tells the world that you like what we're doing, and it helps us understand how we can improve the show. Thank you, and see you next time.